Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay. Well, a couple of days ago I watched Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. And now I just watched the second to last episode of Fate Zero. This episode is getting a 5 out of 5. I'm sorry, I have to give it a 5 out of 5. This was just unfucking believable. Just unfucking believable. That's the only way I can describe this episode. Basically what happened in this episode, and there was really no intro, there was no opening, it was just going right into the action. We have KIRITSUGU. He is fighting Kiryu. Now, at the same time, we got Saber fighting Berserker, who is, we now know as Lancelot. Fighting ensues back and forth. What I find interesting about Kiryu, and by the way, at the end of this episode, I believe he's still alive, because he has to be still alive, because he's the guy who shows up in Fate Stay Night. Anyway, moving right along. They're fighting KIRITSUGU and Kiryu in this like weird space. They're like facing each other, and basically, what's happening is, Kiryu is using his command seals as mana to create these swords. And if you know what KIRITSUGU's deal is with his magic, is he's able to use these bullets he shoots these bullets at you and causes you extreme pain and agony and makes you lose control. Well, what happens is he's fighting him, and he's basically when he's fighting Kiryu. KIRITSUGU is actually going in slow-mo. The double XL, where he actually looks like he's moving slow, but he's actually moving very, very fast. And he's dodging his attacks and so on and so forth. And he can't get any attacks in against Kiryu until Kiryu attacks him and like hits him right in the chest. Boom! Like with his big time fist. And it hurts him, but he's able to come back, KIRITSUGU, because of Avalon inside of him. So, moving right along, we also get the little thing with the Saber fight. Saber is not doing so well. She's getting pummeled, kind of. She gets stomped on, and she's like, oh, is this my fault for the reason why you're acting like this, Lancelot, and so on and so forth. It's moving right along. KIRITSUGU gets back at Kiryu. What he does is he's able to shoot through his hand, and it hurt and immobilizes his right hand. Until then, the action gets really intense. This is an excellent fight, I have to say. This fight between KIRITSUGU and Kiryu was done perfectly. Unbelievable. It was awesome. Just completely awesome. That's all I can really say. So basically, then he ends up doing a triple XL, or like a square XL, and they're coming at each other. Kiryu brings out the swords and he throws it at him. And it's just this interesting scene. And while this is all going on, I forgot to mention, the GRAIL, it completes itself. Because we all know that Ili Einsfield is the GRAIL itself. And she actually, what happens is, you see the GRAIL, and what happens is, this black ooze comes out of the GRAIL and starts enveloping everything, and that's when it actually dissolves the whole area, and it comes crashing down onto Kiryu and KIRITSUGU, and that's what happens at that point. after that happens, it comes crashing down on them, and KIRITSUGU gets put in a different dimension. He's actually inside of the Grail, and he sees Eerie, and there's a conversation between the two of them. Basically, what happens is this: he's now going to be put through this test of saying, you know, what's going on. He's like, oh, asking these questions, what's going on? And he's putting a gun to her face, saying, you're not her. You're an imposter. And she says she's the Grail herself, and she just has the personality of her, really. So, basically, then he basically is given questions while he's in the Grail. He gets put into different scenarios, different places. He's transported to different places, and he's given this. The Grail itself is asking him these questions about, like 100 people are on this boat and 300 people are on that boat. Which boat do you fix first? What do you do? And then, all of a sudden, the Grail knows his answer automatically. And you know what you see? He's in a hotel room, and he opens the curtain. You know what you see? Dead bodies everywhere. And he says, exactly right, you kill all 200 of them. So basically what he's being shown in this scenario is that it's like, and I want to reference Fullmetal Alchemist here. You can't gain something while giving something in return. You have to sacrifice something in order to gain something. And that's the thing about the Holy Grail. That's the thing that turned off KIRITSUGU. And then he gets through this task, and then he has another task where he has to kill more people. Make another tough decision, saying, oh, the same people on that boat get on these, separated in these two other boats. What do you do? And he's freaking out, KIRITSUGU, about this, and just can't fathom it. And then, the thing that pushes him completely off the edge is he's in the shed, and 3 people are there. Maya, Eerie, and Elia Einsfield. Those 3. And what does he do? He ends up killing Maya. And then, now this is when shit gets real fast. So after that scene, he's holding Elia in his hands and sees his wife. And he's telling her, Elia, it looks like we won't be able to go look for chestnuts anymore. And guess what he does? Oh my god, I can't believe he did this. But he's inside the Grail. This isn't really happening, actually. He shoots her. I'm like, fuck. And his wife is freaking out and everything. He's like, why did you do that? Going freaking crazy. And what does he do again? He starts choking her. And she's like, I'm gonna curse. She turns evil, Eerie. She's like, I'm gonna curse you and everything and so forth. And then what he starts telling her is 6 million or billion people. And Maya. He's referencing the people that he supposedly killed over the years in order to go up to this point. So the end result is that you can't have your wish granted unless you sacrifice something. It's simple as that. It's just like with Fullmetal Alchemist. The law of equivalent exchange, if you want to spin it on that. That's the law of the game. So he fucking strangles her and kills her. And then we go back to Kirlie. He's in the ground with the pool of blackness around him, and and he's like Kiritsugu is right there, and he's pointing a gun, and he's like, and Kirie's like, what the saying, I saw it all. How boring, like how cumbersome for you to just do it that way. And he's like, that means I could achieve everything. I could achieve. It's possible. It's possible now. And Kiritsugu, I guess you can say to him what he was thinking about with this was that it's not a miracle. That the Grail is not an old device that grants any wish. You have to, So he shoots him. Obviously, he shoots Kirlie. The fight between Saber and Berserker is over, and Lancelot, not Berserker, Lancelot tells Saber, "You are really a difficult person," and he dies. She kills him. She goes on to see that the Grail is there, and she says Einsfield. She realizes Saber. I don't call Saber he or she. Realizes that she's dead. She's been turned into the Grail, and so on and so forth. And then what happens is, no surprise, Gilgamesh shows up and he says, how about you become my wife? He's proclaiming it to her, and then he starts shooting his normal phantasm, the Heaven's Gate, not Heaven's Gate, his many swords at her, and she denies that she doesn't want to be his wife, and everything, and all that bit. And out of nowhere comes Kiritsugu. He uses his final command seal, and he commands Saber, destroy the Grail. Destroy the Grail. And he's like, no! And she's freaking out, Saber. And he's like, Saber, what are you doing? And he uses your noble phantasm to destroy the Holy Grail. And that's where it cuts. Now, here's the thing. I'm giving this a 5 out of 5 because I just thought it was just fucking awesome. Just awesome. The way they did this. It was totally awesome. I'm going to go with Kiritsugu. I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to say he made the right decision. He made the right decision. I mean, when you really think about it, his wife is dead. She's dead. Okay? She died a long time ago. Like, when she got captured by Kirlie, and Kirlie killed her, that was it. At that point, you should say to yourself, my wife is dead, that's the end of that. I just referenced Full Alchemist because it's the same thing. You have this almighty device that gives wishes, does wishes, your innermost desires, the Holy Grail. Guess what? You think you're gonna go in there and wish for something, and you don't have to sacrifice anything? You're wrong. You're wrong. And that's the rule with the Grail. That's why the Grail should not be seeked. Because all it does is it creates misery. I just thought that was awesome. I mean, that was a crazy scene. He kills Elia, and he kills his wife. I'm like, wow. And the way I look at it is this. Next week's episode tells the tale. Because in next week's episode, we're going to see who? Shiro, who then becomes Shiro Emiya. So it's almost as if, even though he lost a lot, Kiritsugu, he gained a son. And his son is probably ends up doing the same thing that he did. But what he does, and here's the funny thing, when you think about it, and I just I don't want to make this any longer than it is right now, the video, but I just want to mention this point, and I want to know if everybody thinks about this. In the long run, in the original path of Fate Stay Night, KIRITSUGU's stepson saved KIRITSUGU's daughter. So Shiro saved his stepfather's daughter. If anyone's seen Fate Stay Night. So yeah. But anyway, awesome episode. Tell me what you guys think. Comments below. You know. Awesome. Fucking Fate Zero for the win. Fate Zero for the motherfucking win. Yeah, bitches. I'll see you guys